The US Supreme Court has overturned President Donald Trump's move to end an Obama-era program protecting hundreds of thousands of young immigrants from deportation. The decision protects migrants who enter the US illegally as children known as dreamers. North America correspondent James Glenday joins us now from Washington. James, g'day. So Donald Trump is furious with this Supreme Court decision. Take us through the details of exactly what this is about.
Well, Joe, Donald Trump has spoken about this program for a very, very long time. He promised to scrap it in 2017. He tried to get rid of it, and it's since been tied up in the courts. In effect, this program covers several 100,000 young immigrants who came to the United States without documents, either with their parents or on their own. And this program effectively stops them from being deported. A number of them have been here for many, many years, have gone to school and college and things like that, have set up lives here. And so that is why this has been so closely contested. Even some Republicans want some sort of negotiated outcome, but Donald Trump and a number of conservative Republicans have demanded it be scrapped. They say it doesn't set a good precedent. And Mr. Trump is actually vowing to keep trying to get rid of it because although this Supreme Court decision is a blow, it's more to do with the way the Trump administration went about it, not the actual program or the legality of the program itself. But nonetheless, it does mean, as Donald Trump himself tweeted today, that the administration has to start all over again.
Yeah. And so what's been the reaction?
There's been a bit of reaction. So Mr. Trump and his allies are particularly unhappy, although this issue hasn't got a lot of traction outside the United States. It has kind of been a bit of a flashpoint for people on the left and right of US politics. It's become one of the real hot topics of the immigration debate, along with the border wall. And so aside from the Conservatives, we've heard from a number of Democrats. Former President Barack Obama said he was very, very pleased that the decision has been made. Joe Biden, who is likely to face Donald Trump, almost certain to face Donald Trump at November's election, has said that he'd be looking to try to make this program permanent. And Chuck Schumer, who leads the Democrats in the Senate, said that he was very, very excited by today's news. Here's a little of what he had to say.
To me, frankly, the court's decisions were surprising, but welcome, and gives you some faith that the laws and rules and mores of this country can be upheld. Wow, the decision's amazing. I am so happy. These kids, their families, I feel for them. And I think all of America does.
Chuck Schumer there. And James, we might just bring up now one of the tweets that the President published in the wake of this. And so Donald Trump saying these horrible and politically charged decisions coming out of the Supreme Court are shotgun blasts into the face of people that are proud to call themselves Republicans or Conservatives. Even by Donald Trump standards, that seems to be a pretty inflammatory tweet. James, has there been much discussion there in the US about the tone of that?
He spent a bit of time on Twitter today. There were quite a few tweets. It's probably not worth going through each one, but you get pretty clearly from that he's unhappy. He actually ended up calling for more justices, saying we need more on the Supreme Court and vote for me in November and I'll put more conservative justices on the Supreme Court. For people who don't know a lot about US politics, though, the thing that's quite remarkable about this and why Chuck Schumer is saying that he's surprised by the decision is because there is actually a conservative majority currently on the US Supreme Court, and Donald Trump has already appointed 2 of those justices. So it was a 5-4 decision, and the Chief Justice, who was appointed by George W. Bush, was actually the one who sided with the rest of the Liberal wing, and the rest of the Conservative wing wrote a dissenting report. So I mean, it's hard to know. I think this issue will kind of be a big part of the election campaign, though, because Donald Trump has made it one of his real kind of his achievements, one of the things he can really point to and said he's achieved, and the number of justices and judges he's been able to appoint.